Hi, I'm Todd Henderson. Today I want to show you how to install the TruXedo Low Pro on the 2016 Titan XD. Now this is the same install from every Titan from 2004 on, and this is going to show you the extra steps if you have the UtiliTrack system. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, now here is my clamp. Normally I would take the rail that I've got installed up against the bed cap and I would clamp that rail to the bed cap. This truck has a UtiliTrack system, which is this track that's running back and forth in the bed of the truck, and that's going to block this clamp from fitting up in there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take all of our clamps apart. We just take our cap bolt right out, keep this part together, and then this part of the clamp, you'll notice that that hole is offset. We want the hole to be closer to the top of the clamp. We're going to go to the front of the rail. We're going to insert the clamp into the rail and bring it back. Now, where this hole is, we want to make sure that it's not right in front of one of these screws that hold the UtiliTrack to the bed of the truck. All right, so we're going to put 3 clamp halves inside the UtiliTrack system and slide them in. Just make sure those holes are offset towards the top of the UtiliTrack. Next, I'm going to locate my passenger side rail. Now, it's going to have a spring tensioner at the front end facing the cab, and then at the back we're going to have the cam lock. Now, this one does not have the trigger on it, so if you got one with a trigger, switch sides, you got the wrong one. Let's go ahead and put this up against the bed cap. Now, the seal edge is going to push up against the bed cap, and we want to slide that all the way up to where the front seal on the rail touches the bulkhead. We also want to make sure the side seal is all the way up to the very top of the bed cap. And it's easy to try to let this thing rest on top of the UtiliTrack because it can do that, but that would make it too low. You want to make sure that side seal is up to the top of the bed cap. All right, now I like to start with my center clamp location. I'm going to take my other clamp half where the bolt's coming through. I'm going to go ahead and line that up to the threaded hole in the clamp. Start getting that threaded into place. Once that's threaded in place, I'm going to take and raise up the clamp to where the teeth of the clamp bear into the grooves on the rail. I'm going to tighten that by hand first, and this should lift this clamp half all the way up to the bottom side of the UtiliTrack where it's kind of cupping it at the bottom. I'm going to take a 9/16 and snug that down. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and do the front clamp the same way. Go ahead and line up the threads on the bolt. Once that starts threading into the clamp, raise that clamp half up to where it's lined up into the rails. Now at this point in time, we also want to make sure that the seal has not moved down at all. We want to make sure the rail is properly seated against the bed cap. Once we get it in place, again with a 9/16, get that nice and snug. And for the rear clamp, again, the exact same thing. Make sure the rail has not slid down. We're going to line up the bolt, get it started into the threads. Again, make sure that bolt is not in front of one of these bolts to hold the UtiliTrack in place. Put it in hand tight, then with your 9/16, tighten it down all the way. We're going to repeat the exact same process on the opposite side. All right, so what we're going to do is set the tarp down on top of the rails. Now our strap, we want to make sure that falls down into the bed of the truck. This right here is our head rail. That's going to rotate down and fall down right on top of our rail here. Now the back part of this should be pushing right against the front of our spring, and do that on both sides. Also, our rubber flap is going to hang over top of our bulkhead. So we're just going to rotate that down like so. And now let's go underneath and attach it from the bottom. All right, here's where we can see that the head rail is in front of our spring. Now this clip that's underneath, that needs to slide over to go underneath the rail. We're just going to push that under like that and do that on both sides. All right, next what we want to do is lift up the cover off of the Velcro. We want to kind of pull back on that cover a little bit to cure the tension issue in the front. Now this Velcro will slide back and forth in the rail. we want to make sure that's pushed as far towards the cab as possible. Do that on both sides, then we can go ahead and start rolling the cover back to the tailgate. All right, we're just going to roll that all the way to the tailgate. Once it gets to the tailgate, we're going to roll our tail rail into our cam lock and push down. That'll pull the entire cover back. Now we're going to fix the Velcro on the sides. Well, that's it. Your Load Pro is now installed. If you have any questions, call the experts. We're here to help you out.